I am just ahead of the curve. Ah, ah. Woo! What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, what's happening? What's going on, black men? What's going on, BMI? What's going on, BMA? What's happening, BME? What's happening, BMH? This is another live. This is another broadcast, another presentation. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, brothers, you really thought I was gonna let this pass? You really thought? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all think that I was gonna let this pass, this situation pass? Shout out to Swirl Mountain. Or shall I say, shout out to Swirl Kingdom. What's going on, brothers? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Good to see you, man. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight. Oh, we're going to have some fun tonight. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I see you, Kyle Bonner. I see you, Excalibur. I see you, Jamaica, SYSBM, SYSBM in the house. Ron Matthew. I see you, Ron Matthew. What's going on? Brandon Baxter. I see you. I see you. I see you. Oh, it is on. It is on tonight. It is on tonight. If you brothers can hear me loud and clear, just put one in the chat. Just put one in the chat. I just need to make sure that my audio is clear because we're going to talk about the swirl. We're going to talk about the swirl. Swirl, 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 swirl. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, man? If you guys did not catch Dr. T.S.on Johnson last night, if you guys did not catch the Onyx report, if you all did not catch the stream on last night with Dr. T.S.on Johnson of the Onyx report, the executive director of the Institute of Black Masculinity Studies, invited me, yours truly, along with Green Gorilla and BGS Ibmore. If you all did not see that stream, I need y'all to go back. Y'all go to the Honor Supports page, to that platform, and y'all check out that stream. We went live for more than 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. And I would be remiss, my guys. I would be remiss if I did not come here and do a follow up to say some things, about this situation, this interracial program that we are seeing in front of us today in 2022. It is Thursday night. It is April the 7th, 2022. It is approximately 9:04 p.m. and we are all the way live. And I'm gonna tell you, my brothers, I got to say more about this situation. I'm gonna tell you, brothers, if you all are not familiar with the Boondocks, and I know most of you guys are familiar with the Boondocks, that cartoon series that was very, very popular during the mid 2000s. Y'all know what time it is. Mr. Aaron Magruder, that genius, that cartoon genius, created that that series. You can find it on Adult Swim. The Boondocks. And you know, the Boondocks is a fascinating study, man, in Black popular culture, particularly in I'm sorry, not the 1990s. I was gonna say 1990s, no, but in the 2000s. But much of the material that he had was inspired by the 1990s. I'm chilling out today, guys. I am taking my time tonight. I'm not gonna be here too long. I just got to get some stuff off my chest about this swirling thing and about everything that we see. Y'all know what time it is. You see the title of the stream. Y'all see the thumbnail. You see our new Supreme Court Justice. Her name is Ketanji Jackson. Ketanji Jackson. And in that thumbnail, you see her husband. Her husband, who she met while she was in the university, Harvard University. Ah, and you see the imagery that is there, and it's all over the place. The New York Post, that salacious journalistic enterprise that doesn't miss an opportunity to talk about things taboo, to talk about things that the liberals and some of the leftists find offensive or what have you. But I'm not on the right. I'm not a right wing person, or anything like that, and I'm not a diehard liberal, nor am I a diehard leftist. I am BMI. I am completely BMI. I am black male independent. And if you really want to know more about BMI, all you brothers who are new, if you are new to this platform, if you have not subscribed, I suggest that you go ahead, you subscribe, go ahead, share, go ahead and like, let everybody know that you are in the house. Go to my community tab, and I just posted a mission statement, a BMI mission statement. And this is a document that I want all black men who follow my platform, who follow this YouTube channel, to suck up, to take in, and everything. And I want you all to internalize it, and I want you all to make it your own, because we are in the age of BMI. We are in an unprecedented moment. And what BMI means, my brothers, what BMI means, it means that we are not beholden to any political party. We are not beholden to any political ideology. We are not beholden to any idea structure that is hostile, that is adverse to, that is antithetical to the lives and the interests of black men. That's what BMI is all about. Black men's independence. It is about our self assertion, who we are in the world today. And I'm here to talk about this man. I'm here to talk about this man who wrote this book, this man who appeared once again more than 10 years later after he wrote this book. He wrote this book called Is Marriage for White People? Is Marriage for White People? His name is Ralph Richard Banks. Ralph Richard Banks, and he is a professor, a law professor at Stanford University. And oh my God, I got to talk about his perspective, and I got to talk about Swirl Kingdom. I got to talk about Swirl Kingdom. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I see you guys. I see you, Mr. Chauvin in the house. I see you, Mr. Carbon Master. I see you, DT Crypto. I see you, Miles Ryder. I see you, my brothers. I see all of you guys up in here. And man, we talked last night on Dr. T.S. Johnson's platform, the Onyx Report, on this crazy notion, crazy notion that has been pushed for a very, 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 very long time. A crazy notion that black men are so foul, that black men are so abject, that black men have so many deficits, that black men are so jacked up, that black men are such bad fathers, and that black men are such bad romantic partners, and that even when black men get married, that black men are just horrible, horrible, horrible husbands. that black men are just so terrible and boogey-manish that the black queen, the black queen needs to find her another option. The black queen needs to she no she needs to make a huge leap. She needs to make a huge, extraordinary leap. The black queen, the black queen, the black queen, the black queen, the black queen. The black queen needs to expand her options. Yes, she does. She does. She does. She does. Oh, because she is so exceptional, because she is so gifted, because she is the only one. She is the only one out of 40 million black people. She's the only one out of 40 million black people in this country, the United States of America, constitute 13% of the population. 13%. And those who are black and male represent 6% of the population. And those who are black and female represent 7% of the population. And this 7%, this 7% over the last number of decades, 40 years, has been able to take advantage of the American dream. The American dream, because you know what happened? Here's the story, guys. Here's the story. Here's the story. Here's the story. Here's the story. After almost 400 years of degradation, after almost 400 years, Black Americans, both men and women, of undergoing hardcore oppression, anti-blackness. We're talking about slavery, we're talking about Jim Crow, we're talking about lynchings, we're talking about incarceration, we are talking about just brutal subjugation and torture. After close to 4 centuries of struggle, something happened. Something just happened. White society, the white people who have dominated this land, this North American land, something just happened. They just changed their minds. They just changed their minds. The white majority, the white ruling class, all of a sudden they changed their minds about how they would deal with Afro Americans. They changed their minds and how they would manage Afro American populations. And you know what they did? You know what they did? They decided, and this is the story, that the white ruling class decided that they were just going to open up the entire society. They were going to open up the entire society. They were going to open up the opportunity structure. They were going to remove all of the barriers. They were going to correct everything that had been done in the past. And you know how they did that? They corrected everything that they did in the past through civil rights legislation. They did it through the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which dealt with public accommodations. They did it with the Civil Rights Act of 1965, which ensured that Black people would have voting rights. And they added sex and they added immigration to the legislation that came out of the year 1965. And all of a sudden, all the barriers were lifted, all the barriers were removed. What's going on, brothers? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We are going to extend the American dream to the black female population. That is what we're going to do. We're going to extend that dream to them. We're going to bring them in. What we're going to do is we're going to open up colleges and universities. We're going to open up professional schools. We're going to open up law firms. We're going to open up accounting firms. We're going to open up the government as an employer. We're going to open up all of these things, and we're going to encourage these black people to do something that they had never done. And guess what happened, guy? Guess what happened? Guess what happened? This is the story. This is the story that we are told, my brothers. This is the story. The story that we are told is that when black people were given, after the 1970s, when Afro Americans were given the opportunity to pursue the American dream, when African Americans were given the opportunity to become exceptional Americans, do you know which side of the Afro American population took advantage of those opportunities? Do you know which side of the Afro American population was able to enter into the mainstream and to experience all the fruits, all the benefits of American life, the American dream, to experience the American meritocracy? Do you know who did it? What's going on, my brothers? I see you, man. Y'all share, y'all like, and y'all subscribe. Hit it, 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 hit that like button, hit that like button. Hey, you guys know if you want to donate, $ Cash App BMI 3000, $ Cash App BMI 3000, PayPal wanna be Neil. Oh yes, the American dream. Ronald Reagan, he was on board. Oh yes, oh yes. George H. Bush, he was on board with the program. Bill Clinton, he was on board with the program. George W. Bush, he was on board with the program. Oh no, oh yes, Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, he definitely was on board with the program. All the barriers were lifted. And you know who ran with the opportunities, you know who was able to excel and exceed and to go above and beyond. It wasn't black men. It wasn't black men. It wasn't black men. No, 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 no. It wasn't black men. And I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't black men. It wasn't black men because black men just refused to take up the challenge of moving up the ladder. Black men simply just refused to walk through brand new doors of opportunity. Black men refuse to take advantage of affirmative action. Black men refuse to take advantage of all sorts of scholarships. Black men refuse. Thank you, Dr. J. Thank you, Dr. Tieson Johnson, for that support, my brothers. We appreciate you. Y'all go back to Dr. Tieson Johnson's stream that he did last night. Man, this thing was live. It was all the day, all the way live. Man, we just refused. We refused. We refused. Here's the thing. All the doors of corporate America were open to black men, and black men decided that us, as an entire population, we would just sit on the sidelines. We would sit on the sidelines. That's what we would do. We would sit on the sidelines and do nothing. And you know what? You know how the story goes? The story goes, it goes like this: that black men decided that they would sit on the corner. That black men decided that they would hang out under the tree. That they would drink beer. That they would drink 40 ounces. That they would get high, smoke weed, smoke crack, do heroin, stay in the streets. That black men would just sit at their mama's house and be homosexuals. That black men would just resign themselves to a condition of laziness. That's it. Black men would just resign themselves to a condition of do nothingness. And as black men just sat back and did nothing, and became lazy, and because they didn't want to work and because they didn't want to exert lots of effort, a lot of those black men, what they did was is that they decided to engage in crime. They decided to engage in petty crime. They decided to steal. They decided to rob. They decided to sell drugs. They decided to do all sorts of deviant things. You name it, so on and so forth. Oh, I can't forget about this. While the doors of opportunity were open, black men just went around and planted their seed all over the place. They planted, black men, we planted our seeds everywhere. You know what we did? You know what we did during the 1980s, during the 1990s, and during the 2000s? You know what we did? We went and we found as many women that we could find, particularly black women, and we seduced them, we knocked them up, we got them pregnant, we had a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of babies, and we made a concerted decision to not take care of our kids. And not only did we not take care of our kids, but the women that we were with, this is the story now. This is the story. The women that we were with, these women were subject to our abuse. We abused these women. That's what we did. That's what we did during the 1980s, during the 1990s, during the 2000s. What we did is we slapped them up. We called them nothing but bees. We called them nothing but 304s. That's all we did. We engaged in Ike Turner, in the proverbial Ike Turner mythology. That's what we did. And while we did that, and while we just sat on the sidelines and did nothing and behaved like deviants, like deviants, deviants, while we engaged in deviant behavior for darn near 40 years, the strong, the independent, the immaculate, and the majestic Afro-American woman, she sees the time. She sees the reins of opportunity. You know what she did? She went to college. She earned degrees. She earned undergraduate degrees in sociology and psychology and English and literature and communications. She went to law school. She earned a JD degree, a Juris Doctorate. She went on to professional business schools and she earned an MBA. And you know what she did? She took advantage of opportunities at law firms and at major accounting firms. She went to she went to Wall Street. She found herself cavorting and hobnobbing with the white ruling class. And oh my God, she demonstrated to the world, to the entire world, that she is the exceptional one. And she demonstrated to the white ruling class that she is just like them in their attitudes, in their sensibilities, in everything that they do. She is, yes, my brothers, yes, my brothers, yes, Beck, she became a superwoman, a superwoman. And the white people looked at her, the white people looked at her, the white people looked at her, and they looked at this black man, and they said, my God, my God, my God, my God. From what I can see, you know what? You are the better half. You are the superior group. You are the one. You are the population who really, really, really took hold of the entire world of opportunity that we made possible through desegregation. And you know what they did, my brothers? You know what else they did? They began looking at us and they began to say that this man is just abject. This man is just a lazy bumpkin. This man confirms all of the stereotypes, all of the myths, all of the negative, atrocious ideas that we created, that we created over a period of 400 years. And this black male, whom we do not suppress, this black male, whom we do not work overtime to deny opportunities, that this black male, who we do not subjugate in any kind of way, we don't over police him, We don't over incarcerate him. We don't treat him like he is an animal, like he is a savage, that this black male simply cannot make it. He is not up to snuff. He does not measure up to our ideals of meritocracy. Meritocracy, a pure meritocracy. It is only this professional, educated black woman who conforms to this notion of a pure meritocracy. But there is a problem. There is a problem. There is a problem. This woman is by herself. This woman is heterosexual. This woman is unattached to a man. This woman is unable to find someone who is her counterpart. And she cannot find a counterpart who looks like her because the men who share her image, the men who have her melanin, her skin color, they simply cannot rise to the occasion. They can't rise to the occasion. And something must be done. Something must be done to resolve this situation. Because here's the deal, brothers. Here's the deal, my brothers. Power in America, power in America, power in America is connected. Ruling class power in America is connected to marriage. Ruling class power. The further you go up the social scale, the further you go up the ladder, the more you see how people are paired up, the more you understand that this thing that we call WS, this thing that we call white supremacy, this thing is a team sport. It's a team sport. You go to the highest levels of white society, and what do you see? You see men and women, primarily heterosexual white men and white women. The Brookings Institute, my brothers, the Brookings Institute back in 2018, the Brookings Institute, which is a think tank, published a book called Hoarders, 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 how the ruling class, how the upper class, how those at the very top, at the very top, how they hoard the American dream. This is the Brookings Institute. The book is called Hoarders. And the one thing that links all of the people in the upper class is marriage. You don't find a whole bunch of single people in the upper class. You don't find a whole bunch of unattached people in the ruling class. They exist, but they are in the minority. They are minorities. And we cannot have this superwoman. We cannot have this superwoman walking around here without being attached to someone. And so you have women who aspire to be a part of the upper class. And if it's not the upper class, y'all get the likes up, y'all share, y'all subscribe. If you don't have women who aspire to the upper class, the 1%, because you see that, do you see that Ketanji Jackson? Y'all see her and her husband? She's not a part, she's not a part of the 50%. Ketanji Jackson is not a part of the 70%. Ketanji Jackson is a part of the 1%. The 1%. The one, the one, the 1%. Harvard, Harvard, Harvard. Harvard, Harvard, Harvard. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a part of the 1%. Y'all see this book? He said, y'all see this book? Y'all see it? It's marriage for white people. It's marriage for white people. and the swirl movement. I call it swirl kingdom. Swirl kingdom, all of it. Whether you're talking about the women, the black women swirlers who aspire to marry white men, or you talk about black men who embrace the swirl as a means of upward mobility. And I'm talking about, and I said this on Dr. T.S. Johnson's channel last night. You could be talking about heterosexual black men. You could be talking about gay black men, heterosexual black men who will hook up with white women who are part of that class. Or you're talking about gay black men who are in the upper middle class, who are in that world, who hook up with men who are higher than them in status. Oh, y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready for that. Ooh. But y'all saw the New York Post article, and we talked about this last night. And the New York Post pushing this fantasy, pushing this dream, pushing this utopian state of affairs. And you push this utopian idea. You push this paradise. You push this at the expense of the condition of black men in America. You use the condition of black men in America, the miscalculated, the misrepresented, the defamed image and condition of black men to promote this utopian thing, this swirl kingdom. Y'all get the likes up. Y'all get the likes up. Y'all get the likes up. Swirl kingdom. The white man's ice is colder. The white man's water is superior. The grass is greener on the other side. And we talked about this last night, my guys. We talked about this last night. That whiteness is Kool-Aid. That whiteness is heroin. Whiteness is cocaine for lots of people, particularly those who swirl. There's a man by the name of Karl Marx. There's a political philosopher who wrote during the 19th century. His name was Karl Marx. He wrote a lot about political economy, and he wrote a lot about religion, and he talked about the oppressed masses. And you know, one thing that Karl Marx is famous for saying about the masses, especially when it comes down to religion, he says that the masses are unable to see their true condition when it comes down to religion, because religion functions as a drug. Religion functions as an opiate. Karl Marx called religion the opiate of the people, because the opiate prevents you from seeing oppression. The opiate keeps you from understanding the very context of your lies. The opiate, when it comes down to what we're talking about, it prevents you from looking anti-blackness squarely in the face. The opiate is so profound that you will look at the very forces which have enslaved you. You will look at the very entity that has put you through Jim Crow, the very enterprise. You will look at that thing which has colonized you and keeps you colonized. You will look at that thing as God. So the opiate of whiteness becomes a god. The opiate of whiteness is a god. It is the opiate of the people. It is the opiate of the swirler. It is the opiate of those who swirl. Many who swirl, not all who swirl, but too many who swirl. I know on YouTube, it's the opiate of the swirlers on YouTube. And let me just put a caveat out here. I don't care who black women sleep with. Let me say this loud and clear. For people who might want to cut and chop up this stream. I do not care who black women sleep with. You can lay down with any man that you choose. Any man. He can be a white man. He can be a Latino man. He can be a South Asian man. He can be any man, East Asian man. It doesn't matter. He can be any man. You can lay down with whoever you want to lay down with. If you want to lay down with an inanimate object, if you want to lay down with something that you got to put batteries in, you can go ahead and lay down with that. I don't care. But here's what I have a problem with. Here's what our problem with. And we talked about this last night. My problem is when these people are not honest. When these people are not honest about what they're doing. When these people pretend that they're not trying to get closer, that they're not trying to get next to or to be in proximity to what they see as paradise. Paradise. Heaven. If I marry a white man, I will be translated into heaven. You see, being with a black man is hell. It is hell on earth. Hell. It is purgatory. It is the pit. But, if I'm a woman and I'm black and I pair myself with a white man, I will find myself in heaven. Paradise. The Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden before it fell apart. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. You are listening to the Mad Professor broadcast. You are listening to the BMI, the BMA, BME, BMH broadcast on a Thursday night. Let me tell y'all something. I want to show y'all something. This is a part of my archive. Y'all see this right here? Y'all see this? This is Newsweek magazine. I want y'all to look at this, and I want you to look at this carefully. This is a part of my archive. This Newsweek magazine, this is y'all know, Beyonce knows. This is Star Jones. This is Melanie Hobson. You know, Beyonce married to Jay-Z. Melanie Hobson is married to George Lucas. Star Jones, at one point she was married and then she got a divorce or whatever. Y'all look at this. This magazine came out in 2003. This magazine came out in 2003. Do y'all see that? You see what it says? From jobs to school, black women are rising much faster than black men. What it means for work, family, and race relations. Do you see this? Do you see this? This came out in 2003. 2003. Thank you, Bill, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. We've been dealing with this for a long time. In this Newsweek, it was on the cover of Newsweek magazine. And at that time, Newsweek had the same status as Time magazine. This was an era where all the big media companies dominated information in the world. Newsweek dominated news media. Time magazine dominated news media. CBS dominated news media. NBC dominated news media. ABC dominated news media. This was before the era that we're living in right now, social media. This was before the smartphone. This was before MySpace. This was before Facebook. This was before the blogs. This was before YouTube. This was before Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok. You see this? It has a whole cover story. It's a cover story. And you got a round table, cover story with a round table of black women talking about the deficits of black men, talking about how black men are at the bottom, talking about how black men cannot keep up with black American women. This was the prelude. This was the prelude to Black Girl Magic. The prelude, my brothers. The prelude. Or the prelude to Black Girl Magic. And you have women in this publication talking about how they can't find men. Talking about they can't find men on their level. You got women literally saying, let me show y'all something. Look at this. 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 Look. 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 I want to show y'all. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to show you what this says. Look at this. Look. I want y'all to look. This is called the Black Gender Gap. Look. Look. The Black Gender Gap. This is the Black Gender Gap. Look at this. 2003. Do y'all see that? Y'all like. Hit the like button. Hit the like. Y'all share. Y'all subscribe. Cash App. $, BMI. Cash App. $, BMI. Thank you, Brother Campbell. Thank you, Brother Campbell, for that. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? This is the propaganda that was put forward, that was basically used to say that black men are disposable. Black men are obsolete. Black men are ineffectual. That there's nothing that you can do with black men. Nothing. And they convinced an entire generation. And they're continuing to influence generations, convincing them that black men cannot keep up, that racism is damn near non-existent. And if racism is a thing, racism is a small thing. Racism is something that you minimize. Thank you, Robert Campbell. Robert Campbell is right. Stardom is a part of normalizing this frame of thinking for black women. They were saying that we are disposable. And there were black people, black men, and black women who were basically saying that black men are irreparable, that black men are unredeemable, that we have to move beyond black men, that black men are unable, that black men are incapable of engaging and navigating the United States in ways where they would elevate their social and economic status. And they are unable to do it in the way that professional, educated black men, black women ascend in America. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Y'all like, y'all share, and y'all subscribe. This is real. And this man here, this book, y'all see this? This book came out in 2011. It came out in 2011. And all this book did was build on the decades that came before it. All it did was build on the assaults on black men, all of the misandry, all of the media, all of the propaganda. And the sad and tragic reality is, that you have this man, Ralph Richard Banks, who is an elite professor at Stanford University. He belongs to a class of professional black people, intellectuals in particular, people who are part of the culture industry, people who are a part of the world that produces knowledge and scholarship. He is a part of that class. Bell Hooks was a part of that class, the late Bell Hooks. Thank you, Ben RP. The late Bell Hooks, she was a part of that class. And she promoted a lot of the toxic ideas that contribute to these people who promote Swirl Kingdom. We got 99 people watching. We got 99 people watching. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Only constant is change. Only thing constant is change. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Thank you for that $5 super chat. This is black male disposability. The kind of arguments that he makes in that book about black men being ineffectual as husbands, about black men being inept with respect to the American economy, are the kind of arguments that can justify the complete extermination of black men. The kind of perspective that he espouses, and this is why I'm going off here, the kind of perspective that he espouses is the perspective that has driven the prison industrial complex in the United States. It is the kind of perspective that has fueled mass incarceration, the kind of perspective that has fueled the hyper surveillance and policing of black men. Thank you for that. Angie girl, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And that is what Swirl Kingdom does. Swirl Kingdom. This is the toxic, this is the negative, this is the psychopathic side of Swirl Kingdom. I don't have to tell y'all about divestors and the divestor ideology and what the divestor ideology is. The divestor ideology is simply white supremacy. It's white nationalism. It's white nationalism. Because see, someone like a Banks and others like him, he doesn't see anything wrong with these ideal white males. He doesn't see anything wrong with them. He sees them as infallible, that is, they are without error. He sees them as these idyllic men. He has completely removed the white male from history. He has completely separated this white male from everything that white males have participated in relationship to anti-blackness in the United States throughout the course of the history of the United States. Self-hatred. Uncle Ruckus. I talked about the Boondocks. When I started this stream, I referenced Uncle Ruckus. Remember Boondocks? Remember Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks? Uncle Ruckus was a self-hating black man. Uncle Ruckus was a black man who despised any type of political activity, anything that affirmed the lives of black people. That was Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus was addicted to the opiate of whiteness. Uncle Ruckus believed in white Jesus. Uncle Ruckus worshiped white Jesus. Well, Uncle Ruckus he bowed down to the altar of whiteness. I'm gonna show y'all another book. Just look at this. Y'all see this? Y'all see this book? It's another book. This is another Swirl Mountain. Y'all see this? Look at this. Swirl Mountain. Y'all see it? Look at the writer. Black female. Look. Look at that. Look at that. Swirl Mountain. Y'all see it? She got a PhD in sociology. She got a PhD in sociology. PhD. Y'all see that? This thing is real. She's a sociologist. Studying. This book is about black women and white men and their experiences. Black women and white men from different classes. She was only concerned with that aspect of interracial relationship. Look at it. There's nothing. Look at it. Yeah, just the table of contents right there. Sociologist. What we said on Dr. T.S. Johnson has to be echoed here again. is that this is a shortcut. The swirling enterprise is a shortcut. And again, I don't care who people sleep with. But the political ideology of swirling that says that a white partner is better than a black partner, or a black spouse, a white spouse rather, is better than a white spouse. It's preferable to be married to a white spouse than it is to be married to a black spouse based on their whiteness alone. Based on their whiteness. Because they're white. Because they're white. It is a way to not deal. It is a way to not deal with reparations. It is a way to not deal with the fact that you have 70% of black children who are being raised primarily by women. It is a way to not deal with black unemployment. It is a way to not deal with the working class, the lower middle class, the underclass, or the lower class. It is a way to not deal with wealth and power that black people in this country simply do not have. It is a shortcut. It is an exit. It's an escape. It is an attempt to escape more than 400 years of oppression. It's an attempt. To remove yourself, to attempt to remove yourself from the taint of racism, anti-black racism. And I want to be clear about this, because I have adopted SYSBM. I have adopted SYSBM. I've adopted it, my guys. What's going on? I've adopted it. But my idea of SYSBM, my idea of SYSBM is not quite the same as Mad Bus Driver's understanding of SYSBM. I see SYSBM as about black men's independence. It's about black men's agency. It's about black men's autonomy. It's about black men's happiness, black men's empowerment. That's how I see SYSBM. I see SYSBM as about black men pursuing their interest. When it comes down to relationships, when it comes down to romance, when it comes down to love, when it comes down to spending your life with someone, it's about choosing the people who want to be with you. It's not about being loyal. It's not about having some obligation to somebody simply because we got the same skin color, or because we share melanin. My idea of SYSBM has nothing to do with me thinking that somehow or another someone else's skin color who is not mine is somehow superior. It ain't got nothing to do with no skin color. But this is the anti-black propaganda that exists. This is the Bible for anti-black male propaganda, swirl propaganda right here. That's what this is right here. And it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. And I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. You know, in some respects, I would tell all the Afro-American women, all the black women who complain about black men, who think that black men are the worst men on planet Earth. all the black women who have all their grievances about black men, I tell them to go to the other side. Yeah, go to the other side. Let the other side take you up. If the other side will take you up, go over there. Even if you're doing it for white supremacist purposes, go over there. And when you go over there, stop complaining about us. I think that if you had more women who would date out, more women who have all these grievances that they have not examined, grievances that are often related to their poor choices and who they sleep with and who they have babies with and who they end up with, short term and long term. I think the more of those women who go over there, the less we have to hear from them. And the more exposure that they have to other men, and the more exposure that they have to the faults and the foibles of those men, the greater their perspective on men becomes. So I say, go to the other side. Go over. Bye. Leave. I got 117 people who are watching, 117 people who are watching. Y'all get the likes up, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Hit the Cash App $ BMI 3000, Cash App $ BMI 3000. You can super chat, you can super chat, you can super chat, you can super chat, you can super chat. Last night we talked about the politics of this stuff. And we came to the realization that the liberals and the leftists are intent on offering this so-called solution as the only solution to the problems that Black people in the United States have. And I said this on the live, look at the media, guys. I darn near had to stop going to the gym. I go to my gym 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 at night. I get on a treadmill and I see a bunch of TVs. You got a bunch of TVs in the gym. And they have the TVs tuned in to the regular networks. And all I see when I go to the gym are sitcoms of swirling. I see swirling sitcoms. I see swirling commercials. I don't have a problem. Again, I don't have a problem with interracial relationships, but it is clear that this propaganda is being pushed as a solution. It's being pushed as a solution to the problems that Black people have had for more than 400 years in the United States. And this is a shortcut. It's a shortcut. If you convince an entire group of people that all they have to do is hook up, get married to somebody out the group, mainly a white person, and we're talking mainly about Black women and white men, if you can convince an entire group of that, then you don't have to change the society. You don't have to change the society at all. You don't have to change institutions. You don't have to change laws. You don't have to implement new policies. You don't have to do anything. Thank you, Ray Knowles. Thank you for that, Ray Knowles. You don't have to do anything. Because basically what you're saying is that the society as it stands, the society as it stands is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with this society. If you find deficits, the deficits are in the people in the society. The deficits are in the black men who are not willing to take advantage rather of the opportunities that this so-called society and its institutions have afforded to everybody. And that's mythology. Do y'all know O.J. Simpson? You know O.J. Simpson was a victim of Swirl Heaven. Y'all know that, right? O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, before O.J. Simpson was indicted for murder for killing his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, before that whole situation went down, where he had to stand trial for murder charges, O.J. Simpson was convinced, he was convinced that his life had been exonerated from anti-blackness and from racism, and that he had been redeemed by Swirl Kingdom. You all, if you guys have not watched the documentaries on O.J. Simpson, watch the documentaries on O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson kicked black people to the curb. He kicked them to the curb. He really believed that he was no longer, at a certain point in his life, O.J. Simpson believed that he was no longer black. He was no longer black. That white people took him in, white businessmen took him in. He was dating white women. He married a white woman. He had babies with this white woman. He was living in an all-white world, and he was convinced that he was no longer a black person. He was convinced that he was no longer a black man. And the psychology that O.J. Simpson had up until the time that he was on trial for murder is the psychology of the Swirl people who want to enter into Swirl Kingdom. That's it. We got 119 people watching this live. I had to come out here, guys. I had to come out here and talk about this after last night, and I wanted to show y'all some sources. I wanted to show y'all some documents, just a couple of documents. Some documents that have been produced over the last 20 some odd years. Just some documents. Newsweek magazine, 2003. This is Newsweek, 2003. Is Marriage for White People, 2011. And this is a relatively recent book right here, Black Women and White Men. Cheryl Judas. Her name is Cheryl Judas. She's a sociologist. 2018. It's important for black men to understand. It is important for black men to understand what it is that we are dealing with. Back in 2012, there was a popular show called Scandal. You remember Scandal? Shonda Rhimes she wrote and produced that show, Scandal, about a fictional character, a woman who was a high up in a presidential administration named Olivia Pope. I don't have to tell you, if you all remember Scandal, when Scandal came out back in 2011, 2012, y'all remember Scandal? The professional black woman, they were addicted to that show, addicted to it, addicted to a white male who was married, a married white man who was the president of the United States, sleeping around with a high-level officer in his administration. It was G-rated. It was almost, it's a G-rated version of what you see on P-Hub. Y'all see P-Hub? It was a G-rated version of what you see on P-Hub. P-Hub. There's a lot of this on P-Hub. There's a lot of this on P-Hub. A lot of this is on P-Hub. P-Hub. But it's all mythology. It's all mythology. It's all mythology. And here's the other side of the mythology. Here's the other side, and I'm going to wrap this up. The other side of the mythology is that, and I said this on Dr. J's show, the other side of the mythology is the idea that these women, these single, these long-suffering, these exceptional, magical black women, the mythology says that these women are marriageable. The mythology says that their education and their credentials and their professional attainments by themselves make them high-level candidates to be somebody's wife. You don't have to think about the psychology of this person. You don't have to think about the family background of this person. You don't have to think about the disposition, the attitudes that she brings to a relationship. We don't have to think about the gynocracy. We don't have to think about generations of women having negative attitudes towards black men, passing those attitudes down to their daughters. We don't have to think about any of that stuff. We don't have to think about these women who don't want to be wives. Many of them don't want to be mothers to children. Y'all saw my recent videos I uploaded over the weekend while I'm talking to women. I'm talking to women about what they think about relationships, and I'm going to post more videos, and y'all see what they think about relationships. What makes her marriageable? What makes her a candidate for marriage and being a good wife and all that kind of stuff? What? Just because she got a degree? Just because she's a lawyer or an accountant? Just because she got an MBA? That's it? Anyway, guys, I'm not going to make this a long stream. I just needed to come out here and weigh in on this situation and talk about it. Black women and white men and all the mythology around it. And I'm gonna say over and over again, I'm gonna say over and over again, my guys, that I don't care. I don't care what she does. I don't care what she does. I don't care who she sleeps with. And you shouldn't care. And what I want to say to you what I've always said on my platform, guys. You pursue your interests. If you're going to be in a long-term relationship with a woman, make sure that you're with a woman who respects you. It doesn't matter what color she is, what her ethnic background is. Make sure that she respects you. Make sure that she values you. Make sure that she invests in you. Make sure that this person is worthy of your time, your effort, your resources. Make sure of that. She doesn't have to be an African American woman. She can be a black woman from any part of the world. She can be a woman who's not black from any part of the world. Y'all go back to my community tab. Go back again while I put out the statement, while I put out the BMI statement about black men's independence and doing what you have to do. Doing what you have to do, my guys, to maintain your happiness and your sanity. I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you guys for sharing this time with me on a Thursday night. Um, I look forward to talking to you, brothers, real soon. This was simply a rant. I needed to get this off my chest because I talked about this last night, and everybody is talking about it now, and I just need to put more context to it. Thank you, brothers. I will see you all soon. And you know who I am. I am the Mad Professor. This is a BMI. This is a BMA. This is a BME. This is a BMH presentation. I'm out.